Hey gang, welcome back to the Ashland Fly Shop Fly Fishing Video Report for the Southern Oregon, Northern California region for the first part of April 2021. Thank you so much for joining us. My name's Will Johnson and I wear my hair like this because I still can. All right, let's get right into it. Okay, let's jump right into the Upper Rogue River. We are in the waning days of winter steelhead fishing. So we typically like kind of still rolling with this a little bit as we get into the first part of April. I think we heard about a couple of fish being caught this last week, but you know, when we start getting these brighter days, people really start thinking about trout and stuff. So we're not quite getting the feedback that we typically do from the Rogue. I know Marcus was out this weekend with a friend and they didn't fish for long, but they didn't pick anything up. So, you know, they're out there if you want to try and find one or two. You know, you got to work for them, but they're out there. Once again, as I say a lot in this video, I think nymphs is really going to be your best bet for winter fish, you know, running nymphs. But you can certainly swing for them. Low clear water, really clear, bright days that we're having. It looks like we're going to have for a little while. So, you know, try running some more unconventional stuff. We just did a video about a prom dress, you know, Scott Howell's patterns. You might, if you're swinging, you might try something a little brighter. You know, in that water, you know, something a little smaller, more drab, maybe an olive color or like a real light colored fly or something. I still think for winter fish, you got to get down in front of them. So even when it's low and clear, I like to kind of scour a bit. So fishing a bigger tip, T11 or T14 to get in front of them. I still think those fish don't want to move as far for the fly. So yeah, that's what we're looking at in the upper river, nice and low, but not too many fish around. And then as we sort of roll on a bit, really right at the top, I think is your best bet as we get through maybe into the middle part of April, fishing just below the hatchery, Casey Park, like up in there. That's where we're gonna find the last kind of stragglers of the winter steelhead run. So that's what we're looking at on the Upper Rogue, and a little bit of March Brown fishing. Again, haven't heard too much about that, but that does close. So the Rogue will be closed from the 1st of April for trout through the 22nd of May. So keep that in mind. That is a trout closure on the Upper Rogue River. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the holy water section. Again, flows are super low because they're low all through the system, so not a lot of water coming out there, probably like 800 or 900. So wading, you can kind of get anywhere. You can, you know, if you're feeling adventurous, you can wade out to the island on that river left side and fish a little bit there. So real transition month, again, as we talked about even in the last report. We will start see those whatever trout in there that do spawn, of which there's a pretty decent number. They will start to get on the reds and stuff, and if you look from a higher vantage point, you'll definitely see some of those reds, those big clear spots. So try to avoid fishing those fish or around those fish. Let them do their thing. Other than that, fish will start to get a little more active as we get into these kind of little bit warmer days. So keep an eye. Again, I still think nymphing with really small tungsten zebra midges, things like that, is going to be a good bet up there. Swinging flies is just going to start to change, so they might start looking at buggers and streamers. They are again pretty lethargic this time of year. But as they do get into that spawn mode and they get more aggressive, they might be looking for that. And when they come off of the spawn, they're hungry and they're looking to eat. So I think another few weeks and we'll start seeing a bit more activity up at the Holy Water. Might not see too much for hatches up there for a little bit now as we transition into that sort of summer and get into the big salmon fly hatch. But you might, just bring some mayflies along, midges. If you see anything, that's what it's going to be. So that's what's happening up at the Holy Water, or not happening. Still water. Okay, as I've said, we're really going to see the ice break up fast here, so we'll really do our best to keep you in the loop there. But all of our sort of lower elevation lakes like Hyatt, Howard Prairie, that stuff is going to happen quickly, and fishing will be probably really good for a short time. 3 weeks or so. So we'll keep an eye, 4 Mile Lake, we'll keep an eye on that stuff for you. And let you know when that's. I think they're still pretty locked up, but could be between now and the next report, a couple weeks that we see those break up, and we'll start to get that feedback from some of our customers. Klamath Lake can be interesting on the early end. That's not going to be snowed in, so you might go check out Klamath Lake on the early end. Sometimes if there's a little bit of color or chop to the lake there around like Rocky Point or something, you can fish some bigger stuff, and it can be pretty good fishing, some bigger streamers and stuff, and those fish are kind of looking pretty aggressively looking to eat. So, and then those indicator rigs with balanced leeches and stuff can work pretty well. So we'll keep an eye on Klamath Lake, but if you're a stillwater fisher, be putting the bugs together, getting your stuff ready. It's going to happen quickly. Diamond Lake is another place we talk about a bit in the summer. That's going to be off the table for a little bit, but that will be good once it opens up. So stillwater fishing is just around the corner. Sugar Creek Ranch, I do want to plug Sugar Creek. Again, it's one of our favorite early season places to go. We have a couple fun little videos we did about the fishing on our YouTube channel. If you want to check those out, just search Sugar Creek Ranch. Keith and I like to go down there in the early season, but it can be a really good place to go coming out of a longer winter. They're pay-to-play lakes, ponds, but they're pretty intimate, pretty cool. You don't need a boat. You can just kind of walk around, and it's a neat place to fish. We booked that in cooperation with the Fly Shop down there in Redding. So give us a call. Love to talk to you about that. I'm sure we'll be down there soon, but that can be a really fun early place to do some good fishing for some really nice fish. Northern California, we're going to start talking quite a bit more about this as we get into the first part of April. So the general trout opener in Northern California, if it means anything anymore, like it means little up here in Oregon, is the last Saturday in April. So there's not many things that are going to... The only thing that I can think of really in the area that we like to fish is Fall River. So Fall River is one of the last trout fisheries in the Mount Shasta area that we love to fish that won't be open till the end of April. But everything else has opened for annual angling, so year-round angling. So that's the Lower McCloud below the McCloud Reservoir. So that's very interesting, as well as Hat Creek, which is, to me, is the most interesting. So I ran down and fished just this last week and had some pretty darn good fishing at Hat Creek. So I think early season at Hat Creek is really something to look at. So that's on the table right now and ready to rock. Upper Sacramento, if you follow our reports, we really enjoy fishing down there and talk about it a fair amount, and it's been pretty darn good. I think it's just going to continue to be good until it transitions into its sort of more summer phase, which is, once they get a bit of runoff and then things come back down. That's when we see that more summer setup fishing. But I think you'll still be into that kind of winter fishing for the next several weeks through March as things start to shift a bit, and that's been pretty good. And that I would concentrate that fishing on the Castle Crags area downriver, maybe not so much upriver, maybe not so much up at Soda Springs or Cantera Loop. I don't know much about that fishing up there early like this, but that lower down fishing where it's getting more sun, the water's warmer, those fish are pretty active down there. So there can be some good stuff there. I'd love to talk to you more about it. If you want to call the shop, we can get into more detail, but it's kind of a nymph game down there, but it can be quite productive. So Upper Sacramento, haven't heard anything from the McCloud since it's open, but I'm sure somebody has an idea. To me, it's not a big draw. I'd rather go fish down there more in the summer, but I'd be curious to hear about it if anyone knows. Again, Pitt River, I think, is going to be a good bet early. and also Hat Creek I think will be good, continue to be good from now until late spring. So that's what's happening in Northern California. Oh wait. Lower Sacramento just keeps on keeping on. Just a lot of good fishing to do down there. You can get those cyclical days. We did have some friends go down and have kind of a slow day, and then they went back down a week later and did quite well. So you can get. But right now, you're going to see a lot more bug activity. Lots of bugs on the move. A lot of caddis down there right now. So that's a good thing to fish. But the lower Sac should be a very, very good bet and something to keep in mind. Lots of our friends that contribute and share photos with us and information with us fish the lower Sac as well as fish upper Sacramento, McLeod, and all that stuff. And that would be Kennedy Brothers, AC Fly Fishing, The Fly Shop out of Redding, Confluence Outfitters. They're great people that really know how to have a great, put a great guide day together. So please consider giving one of them a call. A lot of good folks out there that really know that stuff down there. We scratch the surface, but they fish it a lot. So. But there are a lot of good stuff to do down there, and lower Sac should be a very good bet. Is that it? Is there anything else? Did I miss anything?
North Umpqua.
Okay, that's a wrap for the fishing report for this week. Thank you everyone so much for joining us and for coming back and tuning in. We really appreciate it. If you're new to the report, please smash that subscribe button. We put out lots of content. We'd love for you to join our little community of fly anglers here. So hit that subscribe button and you'll get notified when we have new stuff. Thank you so much. Again, always, if you have need any more up-to-date information, you're just running out for a spontaneous trip, give us a call. Be happy to help. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.